Hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast, here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com. Once again, BellyUp20 at CanadaDipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canada Dips for being a great partner of BellyUpSports.
Jose Mourinho, everybody's favorite, initially favorite, then everyone hates him afterwards, coach, has found a new job after being released by Roma, which ended up getting into a better position after they fired him, ironically. But now he is going to the Turkish Super League, and he will be managing Fenerbahce over there.
I don't know what to do with that, man. I feel like, they talk about the MLS being a retirement league, which I think is kind of backwards for where it is actually now. I look at the Turkish Super League as the retirement league nowadays. There's not a lot of players coming from the Super League to expand their careers. There's a lot of players going to the Super League to then just retire into oblivion because they get paid a whole lot of money. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think for coaches it's going to be much different.
You are absolutely right about that, because I don't know how many times whenever, and this is back in not that Galatasaray and Fenerbahce and Beşiktaş and or Istanbul is kind of still working on that part, but those three, and I think those are the three giants anyways. Yeah. But whenever they're competing in a Champions League match, and whenever we're watching these games, and I just look, oh, there's that guy. I didn't know he was still playing.
Yeah, it's funny because I think
Wesley Sneijder at one point played for Galatasaray.
Wesley Sneijder. Don't forget Nuri Sahin. Nuri Sahin might be the last player I think went the opposite way. Went from Turkey to a big club to succeed, and then was like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm going back to Turkey.
Yeah, it's the Turkish league. I mean, the only reason why I know Fenerbahce to some extent is because Roberto Carlos. That's where he went after his time at Real Madrid. So, and obviously he had that godly, corner kick that he put in the back of the net. The dude was just that was a different type of fullback.
Didn't Van Persie end up at Galatasaray at the end of his career?
I thought he went back to his boyhood club in Netherlands.
See, this is the problem. Is I honestly couldn't even tell you half the players that ended up there, because I feel like all of them eventually made a stop there for a year.
Yeah, but Jose Mourinho, he took the Fenerbahce job. He signed a 2-year deal. I'm sure he'll get fired after 1 year. But I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. This is the thing I'm thinking. Is his tactics kind of getting outdated?
Yes. The simplest of all simple answers. Yes.
I just don't think you can get away being a defensive manager anymore. I mean, Tuchel has gone through the ringer now, and I used to give praise to Tuchel, and I still kind of do. I still kind of want to believe in him, but I mean, Jose Mourinho has been using these same tactics from all the way back to Porto. It won you 2 Champions Leagues, one with Porto and one with Inter Milan, and I mean, we know the trophies you won because you got it tattooed on your arm for some weird reason.
The Confederations Cup.
The greatest tattoo ever. This is what Jose was talking about the content creators here over at what you find at GolzTV. By the way, the very knowledgeable people is just me talking about, just me spending so much time of my life of finding every weird, stupid thing that Jose Mourinho's ever done. The really bad tattoo that he had, and it's because his skin's just really wrinkly, and it's just at this point it was really too late for him to get a tattoo. That, and then obviously the really awkward marriage proposal that he was forced to watch. That just instilled in my brain. But Yeah, Jose Mourinho, bro. Though he's here at Fenerbahce. Like this can go other two ways. Can only go two ways. He's either going to be all bought in with Turkey, which it seems like that's what he's kind of doing, even though he kind of tried to like, no, I haven't signed anything. I never accepted that deal. And then, like literally, like maybe the same day, a social media post comes out from Fenerbahce. So,
Yeah, no, I mean, okay, I'm gonna go back to your first question here. Is it, the defensive tactics, right? That's the part that's, yes, it's outdated to some degree. And what I mean by that is if you look at how Real Madrid just won the Champions League, their finals was extraordinarily defensive in the first half. And so you can win with that defensive tactic, the defensive mindset in certain situations, but to run it for the entire season, like what he did to decimate Man United, I mean, I feel like that's the best example is what he did to kind of stymie the bleeding that was Man United season and just kind of float them across the line. That doesn't happen often. You're not going to be able to do that from start to finish for 38 matches and expect to win a league title nowadays when you have teams in the Premier League getting 100 points in a year and not winning a title. That's, I guess I shouldn't say 100, 90, 99 for Liverpool, for example, while Man City gets 100 points in a year, and that's who wins the title. And on the flip side, you have Real Madrid and Barcelona running away with leagues. You have whoever decides to win the Italian Serie A every other year, which ends up running away with the league because they're scoring goals. You can't just expect you have, one guy leaking out and scoring 20 goals for you like Drogba used to do, and that be enough, because that's not what you can do nowadays. Nowadays, you need dynamic wingers, you need dynamic midfield players. You can't just have, a sitting six and a front eight. You have to have two-way players in both positions now. You have to have the hinge midfielders. You have to have wings that can attack inside, outside, pass, shoot. I mean, Jude Bellingham, I mentioned it earlier, scored a lot of goals this year for Real Madrid, a lot of key goals for Real Madrid, both with his head, his left foot, his right foot, and I believe even one off of his knee or somewhere in that range, thigh, knee area. That's not going to, that doesn't happen in a Jose Mourinho system. Jose Mourinho system puts if he plays two strikers in the box, but I haven't seen him play two strikers in a really long time. And yeah, it's just not good enough anymore. It's kind of sad to see. So I don't know. It's you hate to see a guy play longer than he needs to, and then get to that point. You really hate to see a really good coach do the same thing, where his tactics are phased out of the game nowadays.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Jose Mourinho, at least initially it starts well. I think that's always been the common theme. Why when everyone talks about it's like, oh man, he's a proven winner. He's won everywhere. He wins a trophy everywhere he goes. Which I mean, I do agree to that statement. I mean, everywhere he's gone, he has had some sort of, I guess not Tottenham, but he's had some sort of success.
He's stymied the downfall of Tottenham though.
Yeah, definitely. But can these tactics work in the Turkish Super League though? And the reason why I asked that question though is because honestly, I don't watch any of the Turkish Super League. If I do watch it, it's probably Galatasaray versus Fenerbahce, which if anything, I forget about how the game was played. I just remember fans storming the field.
I mean, it probably works there, to be honest. And by the way, I was wrong about Robin van Persie. He went to Fenerbahce, not Galatasaray.
Okay.
So whoops. Didn't mean to light that.
They go to the Turkish League there. They go to the Turkish League though. So, but I mean, so Fenerbahce isn't necessarily a bad team. It's not like they're on the downward spiral. They literally finished second place. They were 3 points behind Galatasaray, who has dominated this league for quite some time now. But I mean, Fenerbahce isn't that far off. So maybe bring his tactics. Maybe he brings some players that he probably won't play, and is he able to be that little extra thing? And mind you, Beşiktaş was prepared to offer him Quaresma as an assistant coach. So
I think he would have taken charisma as a player nowadays.
Which that's another guy like, oh yeah, I forgot he was over there. It was so but with that being said, man, clearly like he must have saw Benfica as like not necessarily an ideal situation for him and chose Fenerbahce for a reason. Can you see Fenerbahce getting the title next year with Jose Mourinho?
And in that league, it's like the Scottish Premier League. If anybody knows anything about the Scottish Premier League, it's run by two teams. Well, historically run by two teams. Obviously, there was a few years where Rangers was in what is equivalent to bankruptcy in America. Consolidation, something like that. Whatever it is. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much. It takes one game against Galatasaray giving up one goal instead of 4 goals, and then one game against Besiktas where you give up 1 goal instead of 3 goals. Like those 2 games alone, if you can turn those into draws instead of losses, and then you bundle a couple wins that are against teams that you should easily beat, yeah, you can easily go and win a title. But I think the interesting part here is beyond just the league, and this is the way I think that Mourinho is going to be measured, is actually going to be how does Fenerbahce do in the new Champions League setup, with Fenerbahce getting an opportunity to go into the Champions League now with the expansion. What does that mean for them long term with him being in charge now that there's 6 games? That means there is an opportunity there for his tactics to win out in a 6-match series to get his team advanced into a knockout stage.
Matches.
8 matches, sorry. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance there now that he gets the opportunity to get them into a knockout round position. And if I think Fenerbahce can get to the knockout stages for the first time in, oh man, over 2 decades, I believe, maybe early 2000s was the last time they were there. Like I think that's going to be a measure of success for him beyond just anything else, or even a Europa League finals type of appearance, which we all know he can get to. The dude gets to him like Sevilla gets to him. It's just all the time. But yeah, like I think that's going to be a bigger measure. I think for the league, I think it's just a matter of how does Galatasaray respond with their attackers, right? Do they bring in more big guns to play up front, or do they kind of stay status quo because they just won a league? It's all dependent. But yeah, I mean, you never know in that league, but I think the big measure is going to be what they do in Europe.
Yeah, it's a very fair point. And yeah, I mean, what Kelcey mentioned, next year, obviously, Champions League is going to look completely different. One, there's no more groups. It's going to be one giant table. It's the Super League. It's legitimately Super League. It's just it's inclusive. It's inclusive at least.
Fenerbahce gets a chance.
Fenerbahce can actually play in it, and versus the Super League where they don't get an invite. But yeah, so Jose Mourinho is going to probably be the only reason why anybody watches unless you're a fan of the Turkish Super League. Obviously, not to offend anybody, but if you're someone that's probably has ever watched the Turkish Super League match, you're probably going to watch Fenerbahce and just see how Jose Mourinho performs. I've watched a few matches. Like I said, if it's like Fenerbahce versus Galatasaray or Besiktas versus any of the other 2 that I mentioned, I'll probably watch it just to see how the game is played over on Turkey. And I mean, it's not a bad product. I'm not saying that it's terrible or anything like that. It's just that those are just the 3 teams that at least I watch. I mean, if someone can recommend me a Turkish team to watch, I'll give them a shot. But
I forgot one. There is one. It's Trabzonspor or Trabzonspor.
Yeah, Trabzonspor. Yeah, which
they had John Obi Mikel go there.
They did win the league a few years ago. Actually, I remember it was
and Talyaspor, which is where Samuel Eto'o, I believe, went.
That's right. I believe actually, I think Teenage Adibi from Dynamo is actually currently playing there.
Oh, there you go.
So I guess I have a reason to watch them. But we'll see, man. Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce, and like I said, it could go 2 ways. Either he fully embraces Turkey, or he's going to shit on the league. So
he will straight up Ibrahimovic that league if you're not careful.
He does not hesitate. Maybe we'll have some awkward marriage proposals on that one too.